Good morning, all. Now we discuss IR instrumentation. The IR spectroscopy is generally divided into three regions. The first one is near IR region, and the second is mid IR region, and the third is far IR region. Although the IR spectroscopy is divided into three categories, the instrumentation for all the three regions is similar. So the basic components of an IR spectrophotometer are the same. The essential components are the source of radiation, the four optics, monochromator, detector with an amplifier, and a recorder. These are the main components of an IR spectrophotometer. The block diagram of a double beam IR spectrometer is shown in the figure. In a double beam instrument, the beam is split into two parts, and one beam is directed towards the sample and the other is going through the reference set. The two beams are then compared either continuously or alternatively many times a second. Then in a double beam instrument, the fluctuation in the source intensity, the detector response, amplifier gain are compensated by observing the ratio of signal between sample and reference. Now we discuss the each component in details. So look at the figure. These are the major components. First is the source, and second the four optics, that includes all the mirror setups, and here it is a grating. It is used as a monochromator and detector with amplifier, and here there is a recorder. Here a motor is also used. It is for beam splitting. Then we go into deep of each components. First is the source of radiation. By simply source means from what specimen we have to analyze. The specimen we have to analyze is the source. So here it is infrared spectroscopy. So we have to analyze the infrared spectra of any sample. So the source of the radiation must be capable to produce infrared spectra. Okay. So here we know that a black body radiator is radiating all the wavelength, but with a different intensity. So an ideal source must be a black body radiator, but it is impossible to get a perfect black body radiator. So we use a source which will approximate is used. The most commonly used sources are Glauber filament and Nernst Glauber. These are the mainly used sources. First is Glauber filament and the second is Nernst Glauber. The Nernst Glauber consists of a spindle of rare earth oxide such as thorium, cesium or zirconium about 2.5 centimeter long and 0.25 centimeter diameter with a black body peak around 1.4 micrometer. Its wavelength is around 1.4 micrometer at a temperature range between 1600 to 1700 degree Celsius. So it is capable in the short wavelength. It has very good emissivity in the shorter wavelength. So in the higher wavelength, we have to use the next source, that is the Glauber filament. Glauber filament is a low resistance rod of silicon carbide that is with a black body peak between 1.8 to 2 micrometer. It has larger wavelength when compared with the Nernst Glauber. So this is used in the longer wavelength. So the main source of radiation are Glauber filament and the Nernst Glauber. Nernst Glauber is used in shorter wavelength and the Glauber filament is used in longer wavelength. The Nernst filament requires preheating to make it conductive. Next, we discuss the four optics. The four optics consist of the mirrors M1, M2, and a rotating mirror, or chopper M. So the four optics here consist of the source mirror M1, M2 and rotating mirror chopper. In some other arrangement, we use additional beam splitter. That is, here double beam is used. So there must be a beam splitter. The source of light, the source of radiation get into beam splitter. The splitter splitting the source into two. Okay, such arrangement also may be included in the four optics. The mirror M1 and M2 divide the source radiation into two equivalent beam, of which one passes through the sample and other passes through the reference. Then after passing to the sample and reference beam, the two beams meet at the rotating mirror or the chopper. The rotating mirror alternatively allows the sample beam through the spaces or reflect the reference beam with a predetermined period to the monochromator slit. For such rotating arrangements, that motor is used. Consequently, the detector receives sample beam and reference beam alternatively. Since the both beam have traveled the same path length, the compensation for extraneous effect due to the atmosphere, etc., have been taken care of. Ordinary lenses and mirrors are not suitable as glass absorb IR radiation strongly. This is about four optics. Then we discuss the monochromator. It is the most important part of the spectrometer as it split the polychromatic radiation into its component wavelength. This is achieved by using prism or grating or both. Grating gives better resolving power. And the resolution is, the splitting is achieved by rotating the prism or the grating mechanically to obtain the required frequency. The resolution of this also depend on the slit width and the quality of the mirrors. Rock salt prism is usually used as monochromator in the region 650 to 4000 centimeter inverse, though the dispersion decreases considerably above 2000 centimeter inverse. Now the detector with amplifier. Infrared detectors measure the radiant energy by its heating effect. We know that the IR radiation has heating effect. So we use the detector by the method of heating. So the infrared detectors measure the radiant energy by its heating effect. The thermopile bolometer, Golay cell are used as detectors. In the Golay cell, the radiation fall on a very small cell containing air, and the temperature changes are measured in terms of pressure change within the cell. Another very effective method is based on the photoconductivity, or we use photoconductors. The radiation is allowed fall on photoconducting material, and the conductivity of the material is measured continuously by a bridge network. The detector does not show any signal when the energy is transmitted by the reference and sample cells are equal. It is the important point. We have discussed in the monochromata that the chopper simultaneously passes not simultaneously passes the sample beam and the reference beam. Only alternatively passes the reference beam and the sample beam. So after reaching these two at the detector, the beams reach at the detector one by one. It is comes to the detector alternatively. So every time it compare with reference with sample, or in a particular interval the intensity is compared, and when there is a difference in the intensity or difference in the energy transmitted, then only at that time only a signal produces by the detector. So if the sample absorb the radiation, there will be an inequality in the two beams and a signal is produced. This signal is fed into high gain amplifier, and which amplify the low intensity signal up to usable level with a minimum thermal and electrical noise. And the last is the recorder. The amplified signal is used to move an attenuator comb, which cuts down the radiation coming out of the reference beam until energy balance is restored. This is achieved by the motor, which drives the comb into reference beam when an absorbing band is encountered, and out of the beam when the band is passed over. The recorder pen is also coupled to this motor so that the comb movement is followed exactly by the pen. Now, the working of this instrument is demonstrated by animation. Instrumentation and working. In this setup, this is the radiation source and this is the beam splitter and two mirrors. It is the reference cell and this is the sample cell. This is the beam chopper and this is the another part of the four optics, and there is two slit and diffraction grating, detector, amplifier and recorder. Okay, then we know that we use the radiation source. So in the case of IR, that are, we call it as Nernst Glover or Glauber filament. Okay. And the next is the for optics. It consists of some mirrors setup and this is the reference cell holder, and this is the sample cell. The sample is placed in this here, and it is the beam chopper. It alternatively passes the reference cell, sorry, the reference beam and the sample beam. It moves upward and downward, then it chops alternatively the reference and the sample beam. It is the diffraction grating. It can be rotatable. This is the detector and this is the amplifier. And lastly, this is the recorder. Detector, we uses bolometer, thermocouple, thermistor, Golay cell, etc. Now we can observe the working. When the light from the source reaches the mirror, it is split into two parts. One going to the upper mirror and the second going to the lower mirror. Then it is reflected, one to the reference cell. Then the reference cell passes the entire beam. No loss of energy is observed, but the beam passes through the sample, may absorb some energy. Okay, then there must be a intensity variation, and the beam chopper alternatively passes reference beam or the sample beam. Then if it passes the reference beam, it reaches at the mirror M3 or the chopper mirror, then it will go to the grating, and the grating can be rotated. So any particular orientation, it will send some wavelength through the detector. So when we adjusting the rotation, we can observe the entire IR frequency. Okay. Then within seconds, several times, this process, the chopping, beam chopper chopping the signal and alternatively passes the reference and the sample beam. In the same way, in the same orientation, the sample beam also reaches, and after that it's reaching at the detector. Okay, alternatively they reaching at the detector identifies, measures the intensities and compare it. Then if it is unequal, it sends a signal to amplifier, then it must go to the recorder. The amplified signal is go to the recorder. The recorder record this spectra. So I stop here. This is the end of the chapter IR spectroscopy, infrared spectroscopy. Okay, thank you.